Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. We are doing contemporary South Asia, and under this chapter, we are in the last segment of the chapter, that is the influence of outside powers in South Asia. As we have started our discussion regarding this, no reason can remain in a vacuum. It is bound to be influenced by the outside powers and events. And in the similar way, South Asia is also influenced by outside power. And here we see the outside powers are China and America. So now we see how these two countries are remaining the key players in the South Asian politics. We see that if first of all we will talk about China. China and India were having a very good relationship initially when China PRC was formed, and the relation was going in a positive direction. But then we see that in 1962 there was war between the two countries. It was actually attack from China, and then we see that in this war India was defeated, and after this war all kind of relationship was ended with China, and the relation was resumed in the year 1976 only. And afterwards we see that the two countries have improved their relation, especially if we see the developments of the last 20 years. We find that now both the countries are part of WTO. They are both are member of World Trade Organization. They both have liberalized their economy. They both have gone for privatization and liberalization and globalization. So now they are they have significantly improved their relation, especially trade relation. If we see that the trade relation have increased, economic ties, economic relation, economic cooperation have very much increased between these two giants of Asia. These two are giants of Asia, and they have come very much closer to each other, and their economic ties have multiplied rapidly after 1991. But here what we find that the strategic relationship between China and Pakistan is causing trouble between the relation of India and China. China is having a very important strategic relationship with China, Pakistan, and this is the cause of concern for India. And here we see that China starts interfering in the matters of South Asia. The conflict between India and Pakistan are influenced by China. China influences their relationship. So this is the influence of China. And now we see America. America is also very much involved in the matters of South Asia. Before the disintegration of USSR, when Cold War was going on, at that time America was very much involved with Pakistan. Pakistan was a satellite country of US, and the role of America was limited to with the Pakistan only. It supported Pakistan in all aspects, like financial support, military support, moral support. Every kind of support was given by US to Pakistan, and all these went against India. And we have also seen how a nexus was created among Pakistan, China, and US. So it was the matter before 1991, but after 1991 we see that some new developments have taken place, because after 1991 we have adopted new economic policy through which we have adopted liberalization, globalization and privatization, and what we find that the interest of America has increased very much in this South Asia region, because now because of globalization, India has become a very important destination for foreign investment. MNCs, all the multinational companies, India is a very much important destination for MNCs because of availability of raw materials, then availability of cheap labors, availability of market. All these are very important factor for making India a very desirable destination for the multinational companies. Similarly, Pakistan has also changed its economic policy. Pakistan has also gone for liberalization and globalization and privatization. So the interest of economic interest, we can say, economic interest of America has increased rapidly in this region after 1991. And America also plays the role of mediator between the conflict of India and Pakistan. And moreover, we see that the South Asian diasporas, the people of South Asia who are now living in US as citizens, it is also very high. The population, the large South Asian population are living in US. So this is also making US very much active in the politics of South Asia. And in this way we can see that these outside powers are influencing the politics of South Asia. Here you must understand that what South Asia will be known. South Asia will be known for conflict prone zone, or it will evolve into a regional bloc with some common cultural features and trade interest. It depends on the people and the government of the region and not on the outside power. It means that in what direction the South Asia wants to go. It wants to maintain its conflicts. It wants to maintain the conflicts between different countries of South Asia, or it wants to increase the cooperation between the countries of South Asia. In this way, it wants to achieve the economic growth of the region, and not only this, it also wants to achieve cultural features and increased trade relationship between the countries. So in which direction it wants to go? इसके सामने दो रास्ते हैं, लेकिन इसको ऐसे अगर हम समझ सकते हैं, जैसे हमारे सामने साउथ एशिया है, साउथ एशिया के जो डिफरेंट कंट्रीज हैं, इनके सामने दो रास्ते हैं. एक रास्ता वो है जहाँ पर ये जिस रास्ते को अपनाकर इट विल बी नोन एज कॉन्फ्लिक्ट प्रोन जोन. व्हाट डज इट मीन? कॉन्फ्लिक्ट प्रोन जोन मतलब एक ऐसा जोन जहाँ पर कि कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं, जैसे कि इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच जो कश्मीर का मैटर है. एंड मोर ओवर नाउ बोथ द कंट्रीज आर न्यूक्लियर वेपन कंट्रीज, सो इट हैज़ बिकम वेरी मच सेंसिटिव. द रीजन हैज़ बिकम वेरी मच सेंसिटिव. So it is how it will be known to the world as a conflict prone zone, or it will be known as a regional bloc based on economic and cultural कोऑपरेशन, ठीक है। तो साउथ एशिया जो है वो किस डायरेक्शन में जाएगा? साउथ एशिया एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट प्रोन जोन के रूप में जाना जाएगा. इट विल बी नोन एज कॉन्फ्लिक्ट प्रोन जोन और इट विल बी नोन एज रीजनल ब्लॉक बेस्ड ऑन इकोनॉमिक एंड कल्चरल कोऑपरेशन. इसको किस डायरेक्शन में जाना है? द डायरेक्शन विल बी डिसाइडेड बाय द पीपल and the government of different countries of South Asia. It will not be decided by the outside powers. जो यूएस है, जो चाइना है, वो नहीं डिसाइड करेगा कि हमको किधर जाना है. ये हम डिसाइड करेंगे, हमारी गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड करेगी कि हमें किधर जाना है. हमें अपने कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स को ख़त्म करके कोऑपरेशन की तरफ जा करके डेवलपमेंट को अचीव करना है, या फिर हमें इस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को बनाए रखना है और दुनिया हमें एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट प्रोन जोन के रूप में ही जाने. क्या हम चाहते हैं, इट टोटली डिपेंड्स ऑन अस. इसका यही मतलब है, ठीक है. तो दिस इज योर आउटसाइड इन्फ्लुएंस कि किस तरह से साउथ एशिया में आउटसाइड इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहा है. बट आपका कंक्लूजन जो है वो यही होगा कि आउटसाइड इन्फ्लुएंस विल नॉट डिसाइड आवर डेस्टिनेशन. वी the people of South Asia, the governments of different countries of South Asia will decide the destination. Either they will choose conflict prone zone, either they will choose to be known as conflict prone zone, or they will choose to be a regional bloc based on economic and cultural cooperation. So this is all. We have completed our chapter, this contemporary South Asia. हमने इस चैप्टर को कंप्लीट कर लिया है. अब हम इस चैप्टर के जो अंदर से जो कुछ बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस निकलेंगे, उन क्वेश्चंस पर हम लोग डिस्कशन करेंगे कि व्हाट आर द इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम दिस चैप्टर. Extra questions we will be doing. So the first question and the most common question is what do you understand by साउथ एशिया, है ना. आप साउथ एशिया से क्या समझते हैं? So your answer will be that South Asia includes the countries Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And then you will have to also tell the natural boundary of South Asia, like in the north Himalayas is there, then in the south Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea is in the west, and Bay of Bengal in the east, है ना. And in this way it this natural boundary in fact provides a kind of natural insularity to the region. This region is secluded from other parts of Asia, other parts of the continent. And we also see that in this region people are having some kind of linguistic, social and cultural distinctiveness. And this is the reason why this South Asia is known as the subcontinent, the Indian subcontinent. Okay, so this is your answer. And in this you can also include ki many times Afghanistan and Myanmar are also included in South Asia. Okay, so this is your answer. And now the next question is, it's a statement question, like a very important question is the statement is given on page number 67. You will see पेज नंबर 67 में सेकेंड पैराग्राफ जो है, फर्स्ट कॉलम, एक ही कॉलम, वन कॉलम इज देयर. तो उसमें जो सेकेंड पैराग्राफ का जो फर्स्ट सेंटेंस है, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सेंटेंस. एंड द क्वेश्चन में कम टू एक्सप्लेन द स्टेटमेंट. ओके, सो द स्टेटमेंट इज despite the mixed record of the democratic experience, despite the mixed record of democratic experience, the people in the countries of South Asia, है ना, the people in the countries of South Asia share the aspiration for democracy. Share the aspiration for democracy. Okay. So this is the statement and you have to explain the statement. The question is, so what will be the explanation of the statement? That despite the mixed record of the democratic experience, the people in the countries of South Asia share the aspiration for democracy. तो इसमें दो पार्ट है. पहला आपको बताना है कि what is the mixed record of democratic experience. The mixed record of democratic experience is that only two countries. ये आपको एक पैराग्राफ में इसके बारे में, not in paragraph, you have to give it in points, है ना. पहले तो वही कि only two countries are there, जैसे इंडिया और श्रीलंका है, जहाँ पर कि डेमोक्रेसी सक्सेसफुली चला है ना. एंड देन आपको नेक्स्ट जो देना होगा वो ये, जैसे बांग्लादेश और पाकिस्तान जैसे कंट्री जहाँ पर कि मिक्स्ड रहा है, मिलिट्री रूल कभी रहा कभी डेमोक्रेसी रहा. एंड देन यू विल हैव टू गिव कि नेपाल में किस तरह से डेमोक्रेसी आया और फिर 1990 में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोनार्की के साथ स्टैब्लिश हुआ डेमोक्रेसी, लिमिटेड डेमोक्रेसी थी. देन 2005 में वहाँ पर पीपल्स प्रोटेस्ट होता है और फिर 2015 के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से वहाँ डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट सेटअप हो जाती है. ठीक है. और इसी तरह से आपको जैसे भूटान का भी देना होगा कि 2008 में भूटान कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोनार्की बन गया एंड इट ऑल्सो started a multi-party system in Bhutan. And then Maldives में जो कि 1968 तक सल्तनत था, ये भी एक रिपब्लिक में चेंज हो जाता है 2005 में, है ना. जो मालदीव्स हैं वो मल्टी पार्टी सिस्टम को अडॉप्ट कर लेता है. तो इस तरह से ये मिक्स्ड रिकॉर्ड है. दिस इज़ द मिक्स्ड रिकॉर्ड. ठीक है. तो जो पहला पोर्शन है आपका मिक्स्ड रिकॉर्ड, इसमें आपको जो डिफरेंट कंट्रीज ऑफ साउथ एशिया उसका बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं देना है, ये नहीं डिटेल में नहीं, बिल्कुल उसका जो जिसको हम कहेंगे जिस्ट में बताना है कि कौन सा किस तरह का फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट वहाँ पे कैसे इस्टेब्लिश हुआ, कि क्या है. ठीक है. जैसा मैंने बताया जस्ट वैसे ही आपको सारे देना है. एंड देन हम ये जो नेक्स्ट पार्ट है वो ये कह रहा है कि द पीपल इन द कंट्रीज ऑफ साउथ एशिया शेयर द एस्पिरेशन फॉर डेमोक्रेसी. है. द मेन पॉइंट इज aspiration for democracy. How we can say that the people of South Asia share the aspiration for democracy? We will have to give the data which we have discussed in the starting of the chapter. Ki one survey is done of the 5 countries of South Asia, and this survey was done by that SDSA team, State of Democracy in South Asia की जो टीम थी उसने इसको सर्वे किया. और इस सर्वे का जो फाइंडिंग्स है वो आपको देना होगा. इसमें आप अलग अलग उतना याद करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. जो ओवरऑल साउथ एशिया का डेटा है वो आप प्रोवाइड करेंगे तो दैट विल बी सफिशिएंट कि इस सर्वे में जो कि SDSC ने किया, स्टेट ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी इन साउथ एशिया की तरफ से जो सर्वे किया गया 5 कंट्रीज का साउथ एशिया के, उसमें ये पता चलता है कि साउथ एशिया में 62% जो है उनके लिए, वो 62% ऑफ पॉपुलेशन इन साउथ एशिया आर ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट डेमोक्रेसी इज preferable form of government, and then 10% of the people say that sometimes this dictatorship is better than democracy, and the rest 28% say that it doesn't matter to them. So in this situation, in this data, you can see that the highest data is 62%, because majority of the population of South Asia are of the opinion that democracy is the most favorable, democracy is preferable than any other form of government. तो ये एक डेटा आपको इसमें देना होगा जो कि बता रहा है कि people are aspiring for democracy. And जो नेक्स्ट डेटा होगा वो भी जो पूरी की पूरी साउथ एशिया का है, जिसमें कि हम देखते हैं कि 88% ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन इन साउथ एशिया आर ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट डेमोक्रेसी इज सुटेबल फॉर देयर कंट्री. ठीक है, तो ये दो डेटा आपको देने होंगे. 88% ऑफ पॉपुलेशन इन साउथ एशिया आर ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट डेमोक्रेसी इज सुटेबल फॉर देयर कंट्री. ठीक है, ये दो देकर हम इससे समझते हैं कि जो पीपल हैं, पीपल आर एस्पायरिंग फॉर डेमोक्रेसी इन दीज कंट्रीज. ओके, इसी तरह से एक और स्टेटमेंट है इसी से जुड़ा हुआ, मतलब इसी टॉपिक से जुड़ा हुआ वन मोर स्टेटमेंट इज देयर, उसको भी हम देखेंगे अभी. ठीक है, the next statement is the South Asian experience of democracy the South Asian experience of democracy has expanded the global imagination of democracy. So now the question is, justify the statement. So in answering this question, first of all you have to write about the surveys. जो सर्वे हुआ, उस सर्वे के जो फाइंडिंग्स थे वो आपको बताने हैं. जितना सही ढंग से याद रहे उतना ही करना है ना. अगर डिफरेंट कंट्रीज़ का जो इंडिविजुअल डाटा है अगर वो याद रह जाता है तो यू कैन गिव ऑल द डेटा ऑफ डिफरेंट कंट्रीज. जैसे इंडिया में कितना है, बांग्लादेश में, पाकिस्तान, नेपाल, श्रीलंका, कितने लोग चाहते हैं कि कितने लोगों का कहना है कि डेमोक्रेसी इज़ प्रेफरेबल. तो अगर याद हो जाता है तो उसको आप दीजिए, बहुत अच्छा रहेगा. क्योंकि यही जो सर्वे है ना, सर्वे की जो फाइंडिंग है दैट प्रूव्स दैट द साउथ एशियन एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी हैज़ एक्सपैंडेड द ग्लोबल इमेजिनेशन ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. जो अभी तक अगर हम 1945 के पहले की कंडीशन देखें तो ऐसा माना जाता था कि डेमोक्रेसी कैन बी successful, or you can say that democracy can be established only in rich country, and only in those countries where people are literate. And when in the countries of third world, when these countries got independence and democratic setup was established in these countries, what happened that the most important feature of these third world countries was that they were poor. They were developing countries, and the percentage of literate people was very less. So it was it was the thinking of the people and experts and the leaders of the Western world that democracy can be established only in Western countries, in the developed Western countries, where the population, the percentage of literate people are high. But when in countries like in countries of third world, or we can say, because we are here concerned only with the South Asia, so we will focus on South Asia only, that when the countries of South Asia, when in the countries of South Asia this democratic setup was established and it became successful, then its global imagination of democracy expanded. And in this you can give the example of Sri Lanka and India. These are the two countries where democracy is completely successful. Okay, and other than these two countries, in other countries also, Bangladesh, after the end of the Cold War, after 1991, we can see that in Bangladesh democracy has been established. And after 91, no military rule was established in Bangladesh. Democratic government is very much stable there. And in Pakistan also we see that their election was held in the year 2008, and from 2008 onwards this democratic government is stable there. In Nepal also we see. So in this way you have to give all the examples of all the country. कैसा experience है? इंडिया, श्रीलंका हो गया, देन बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान, नेपाल. नेपाल में भी 1990 में लिमिटेड डेमोक्रेसी था. देन 2005 में पब्लिक प्रोटेस्ट होता है, एंड न्यू कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली वाज फॉर्म्ड एंड न्यू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज ड्राफ्टेड and implemented in the year 2015, and now Nepal is a complete democracy. And similarly Bhutan and Maldives are also moving ahead towards democracy. So in this way we can say that South Asia has expanded the imagination of the global imagination of democracy. Okay, so this is the explanation of this statement. And now we will see what can be the next question. Like from all the countries of South Asia, there can be question of explain the internal politics of Pakistan. So in this you will have to give what political development took place in Pakistan after becoming an independent country. So we have discussed about it, and you can write it down. And now the question is explain the internal पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान. तो इसमें वही आपको 1947 से अभी तक का जो पॉलिटिकल डेवलपमेंट है वो बताना है. ठीक है. और इसके बाद एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन पाकिस्तान के इंटरनल पॉलिटिक्स से रिलेटेड है, और वो क्वेश्चन ये है कि एक्सप्लेन द फैक्टर्स विच हैव कंट्रीब्यूटेड टू पाकिस्तान्स फेलियर इन बिल्डिंग अ स्टेबल डेमोक्रेसी. The question is, explain the factors which have contributed to Pakistan's failure in building a stable democracy. Okay, so the factors we have discussed about this when we were discussing the question. Now, when we were discussing the chapter. So we will continue this in the next class.